Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio with Michael and Lee. Join us with topics that wake up the connection to your soul. You can listen to us at lightenuptalkradio.com. Hello, everybody. This is Michael Lott here with Lee Snyder and Michael Braswell, and we are having a blast here on Sunday, December 16th. Another episode of Lighten Up Talk Radio. How are y'all doing tonight?
I'm overwhelmed.
Didn't sound too overwhelmed over there, no.
You're just mad because we're over talking you today. You like to be the head of the gang.
Not me.
We're not going to allow that today, are we, Michael?
No.
No, he's going to be like our stepchild.
You're so kind.
You're so welcome.
Since you're my step parents, you got my sizes for Christmas.
Teeny
God.
tiny small.
Yeah. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz.
Well, at least we're not talking about bowel movements now.
No, we're not.
definitely
Thank
switched
goodness
off
we
that.
got over all of that. Yeah, we had enough of that a while ago.
Our pre-show is pretty
well,
much something.
That's right. We got over that. We walked past the bathroom door to the kitchen. I won't clarify who was in there.
Oh, God.
That's when we really know when we really have some psychic ability. It's pretty overwhelming sometimes when you're just walking down the hallway and then all of a sudden it just comes to you exactly what's going on in the other
Just
room.
by the smell of their bowel movement.
Just know what's going on in the other room.
That's one of the Claras. It's called Clara Smell.
Oh, God. Oh. Boy, we are nutty today, aren't we?
It's the energy, Michael.
It
It's the
is.
energy.
This is true.
We can blame it on something. Let's blame it on the energy.
Oh,
Well, this week has been pretty intense, I'll have to say.
Yes, it has.
And we've just definitely lightened it up about 10 notches.
And yeah, people's just getting too serious. We need to lighten it up no matter what subject you're on. We choose to kind of go to different subjects that most people probably wouldn't lighten themselves up with. But whatever that is, whatever's making you happy, you need to go for it and just really have a great rest of this year. What do you have to say about that, Michael Braswell?
I was just thinking about what you were saying and putting it back to the party we went to last night. Really a neat party. And there were people in that party that in the past, I've only known them to be not dark, but very serious, ungrounded, unfocused, without any connection to joy and peace in their life. And last night, that party was a miracle. Those people were some of the ones having the most fun. And I thought
What a
that was
blessing
neat.
to get
It
to
was.
witness that
It really was.
transformation in people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. We're in an actual class on Thursday evening. It was interesting last night to see those people, of how it has been a change in the past 3 weeks, of how that you can really be somewhat asleep, I would say it that way, and then you're just waking up, and it can happen just in seconds. It doesn't take a long period of time, and that's why we're always talking about getting to your spirituality. A lot of people really believe that it just takes years to get there, or that you have it and there's no place for them to have it, and that is just so incorrect. It can come really fast. Whatever you wrote in your chart is what's normally followed. A lot of times you'll wake up and find out what that is, and you'll go into it even faster than maybe whatever your mindset keeps you back from doing that. But we really found out that there's been several people that we've had in classes in the past that absolutely just woke up. I mean, we just did a 5-minute healing on them, and they just woke up. And what a huge difference that makes in a person's life.
You know what the miracle... I'm sorry, Michael.
Oh, no, that's okay.
What the miracle is the energies are affecting everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. No one's immune to the new energies coming in, the powerful energies. And they can be energies of chaos if you don't know how to handle them or you're not open to them. But someone can be feeling those energies hitting them and be chaotic and be where they think they're going crazy one minute. And all it takes is somebody to point out one thing to them.
Right.
And they switch. It's like they switch tracks like a train. and they're compatible to the energies, and they just excel. And we've seen that.
Yes,
That's
we
a
have.
beautiful description. Or the dam of old emotions just breaks and it just clears right out all the huge amount of old energies.
It was a miracle to see a person that really couldn't even make a sentence that evening, and to be able to look at the person after they've had a clearing and a waking up time, to be able to talk and have fun and just have a great time. And it was just like a second type situation. But the energy is affecting a lot of people now, and I think that we see it in a lot of people's driving. I had an experience myself yesterday of somebody coming totally into a lane, didn't even know the truck was there. And he drove down the actual median of the road a good half a mile. Mm-hmm. And I think that what happened was that she just moved back into the middle lane because there was a car behind her that was speeding up. She never even realized that he was even in the median of the road beside her on the left-hand side. I mean, that's really an interesting scenario.
Well, you know what I've noticed too? I think last week we got into some of the symptoms that are going on.
We did.
But just, it seems to exaggerate either if they're not awake or opened yet, open their heart up to allow it in. It'll exaggerate the negative attributes. So if there's something that they hold on to, like any kind of fears or anxiety, the anxiety level just skyrockets up. I've noticed a lot of people with anxiety that the anxiety level just absolutely goes through the roof. Mm-hmm. If they don't allow the energies in or accept them, it's kind of, or if they do, it's just like total joy, a new freedom.
And it's gotten to where, if you're an outspoken type person and you're around someone like that, you just look at it and say, well, I'm going to be just who I am. But there is some positions with that you might feel very uncomfortable about that at times. Not being able to really express yourself the way that you want. I entertain the idea that I always express myself the way that I want, but that's just me. And I think sometimes you have to speak up. We've had some situations that, you just have to speak up and just be who you are, the truth of who you are, and just go with it. And that type of energy is also here as well.
I think what you're
that a lot of times they're just being quiet instead of speaking their truth of what they want to say at that moment.
A lot of times the unresolved things.
It is.
Just unresolved emotions or communications in life that are just sitting there. Or at least there's been a lot of that energy these past couple of weeks of completing some type of communication pattern within relationships.
And
I've seen a lot of that.
I agree with that, but I also say that it's intimidation. It just seems like that a lot of people is into intimidation with you, and you just kind of sitting there. They got this glazed look on their eyes because it's like they want to say something to you, but they don't say something to you. And I think now's the time to be free break through and be free at whatever that you want to say. Take the belief system that it's always going to be out of love because that's the way it needs to be. No judgmental situations at all. and just go for it. This is the end of the year. December 21st is coming very close. And it's time to just let everything go and to be happy in your life. And whatever that takes to do so is what you need to do. What do you think about that, Michael?
I was getting something. I'm sorry.
I'm going to pick a card while y'all are talking for a second for the day.
How would you, when you encounter someone like that, who's sitting there and you can tell that they need to say something or they want to say something, but they don't have the ability right then, how would you help them? How would you help them get over that inability?
I would say, being the personality that I am, I would say I feel like I recognize that you're trying to say something to me at this time. And I want you to know that I'm very open to whatever that is. And to really give them the thought pattern of no matter what you say to me, I'm not going to be angry about that, or I'm not going to really, you open the door for that person, because there's sometimes that there's certain people that are so deep into not speaking their truth. You have to just say what you got to say, and I will take it in total love.
What you just said in that statement, excuse my voice, is they may not be speaking because they're afraid of the judgment that
That's
will
correct.
be bestowed upon them. And you just took with that one phrase, I will not judge you on it. I will not be mad at you. You just took away the objections that they may have internally had.
Right.
So that was a good way to put it. I like that.
Because there's a lot of people that have lived with judgment all their life.
Mm-hmm.
It could be with siblings or parents or whatever that who they are. But I think it's now time to speak up. You can't not to carry it over to the next year. Whatever you have to say, finish it up and let it go.
Let it roll.
And start a new life, which is what we're supposed to be doing, and just go for it.
All right, Michael Lott. No.
I did pick the card, if that's what you're alluding to.
What you got?
Let's see what we get today. It says, it's from the, what cards are these? These red cards?
This is Sylvia Brown.
Sylvia Brown cards, thank you. The other side is your real home, and it's possible that you will feel a form of homesickness while in this life.
That's so true.
Oh, wow. I've had a lot of that in my life, that's for sure.
Have you ever
It's an interesting card.
Have you ever been outside at night on a starry night and looked at the sky and felt homesick?
I would use the word lonely.
Lonely. And you didn't know why. See,
Totally.
That's homesickness.
But you know what, to me, this card really resonates with right now, for me, is, and for like a global sense, is people are really looking for that their real home is inside of them. It's the connection to all that is, not the outside world, of the stuff and the this and the that. And that connection, that place that we're this energy is taking us to it. It's stripping down the walls, almost blasting them down, and even if you still hold it up with your own energy, so to speak, hold it up. The second that you're just willing to release it, as you all were talking about earlier, it just goes just like in a second, and it's just like a total release. But I really think that that's what this card's about, is about being homesick with self, the home that's within. There's so much of that in the world, looking outside for home, looking for stuff and places to call home instead of being able to be at home just with where you are, wherever it is. I know that's been a real journey for me, but that's what this card really resonated with me on a deeper level for me.
So the new energies coming in then may be affecting people in a traumatic way because they continue looking outward with the new energy that they've gotten in them.
Yes.
When had they looked inward, the new energies would have become compatible for them.
Yes, and it'll amplify the homesickness even more.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about right now. So if people are feeling, if any of y'all out there are feeling more of the negative emotion sides of the picture, again, another indicator to allow and get some help if you need help. And when we talk a lot about, there's people and the angels on the other side and spirit beings, and there's
life coaches. We've got
all kinds
healers,
of helpers that can
spiritual
help
teachers, all of that.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and I've also noticed too that I've been around several elderly people in the past couple of months, and it's depression.
Yeah,
it's like that they're really not knowing what to do with their life while they're here on this earth now. And I think that there's something within their heart that's saying, it's time for me to go, but there's fear around doing that. And I think that's when you really have to I think we're in the situation now as being teachers ourselves to pay attention to that with a lot of the elderly people. And if you can go out and help in a nursing home or whatever, this is the perfect time to do that.
Yeah.
It certainly is.
Could it be that they've reached the end of their contract that they were supposed to do in this lifetime,
Right.
and now not having a goal or a contract to meet, they're adrift?
I agree with that, but I also agree that to add on a little bit to that, that in the life that they're in right now, they do not feel like that they've accomplished what they were supposed to do on this earth, and the time is running out, and they haven't been able to do that.
And there's some sadness.
And
that
there's
goes
very
along with
much
that.
sadness there that is they feel like it's dwindling down to their end, and they really have not done what they have really in their hearts wanted to do, and sometimes for all kinds of reasons that they did not do it.
Yeah.
So there's a little sadness there about that.
That makes sense.
I've seen a lot of that type of thing. You find a lot of people that, particularly I think parents, that they go into living the life of their children instead of them.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that I've had a mother that has gone through that with me. And I think that now that she's at a point, there's a lot of things that she looks back on and wishes that she'd gone out and done a lot of things herself for her. And on that note, I bless her and I love her for that. But it also somewhat saddens me to a degree that she did not go out there. It was her journey to do it, but not mine, so I accept that. But I wish that she would have been able to do that and taken some of the energy away from working with me and being able to apply it to herself. Mm-hmm. And I know you made a comment the other day, Michael Braswell, about a family member that you had. And that somebody said, I think I got this right, somebody said, well, how can you just ignore that? How can you ignore what maybe your child's going through or this and that and the other? And I thought that what you said was terrific, because that's his journey or her journey, whichever that it is. And, whenever you can kind of get out of that energy of that, it enhances that child to be able to go more out on their own and fulfill their purpose. So it can totally go the same way with children and parents. It's definitely a two-way street here.
Yeah. If you don't get out of that energy, you simply enable them to keep going like they're going.
Right.
And that's being cared for by you, being responsible for them when you're accountable only.
Right.
So what you're doing in that case is you're retarding not only yourself, but you're retarding them.
Right.
They call it tough love. They call it different names. But I call it loving enough to release them to their path.
Right.
Without your interference.
Right. Right. And I respect on the other side of that with the child to the parent, the same type of philosophy. Mm-hmm. You have to release what you knew as a small child when your mother was mothering you. And you have to allow that parent to be free into their path of what they need to do for the rest of their lives.
It's true.
It goes both ways with that.
Very true.
Yeah. I was looking at the card here, and with this little girl looking up at the moon here, it says the other side is your real home. What I see when I look up is a wonderment of knowing that I've been there, but where else am I going to be that's not in the same place of what I'm looking at? I always feel like that there will be another type of galaxy, universe, something that will be fresh and new to me. That I've already been to that home. Now I'm going to another home. And the excitement of what that can be.
You know what's interesting? When you were talking about that, I hadn't thought, but it is the little girl in that picture with wings, too, right?
That's right.
Has wings,
looking at the moon.
Mm-hmm. And both the girl and the moon are both symbolic of receptivity and the divine feminine. Mm-hmm. So there's that quality of being open to receive that part of you that's in there.
Right.
Being able to let it flow and bubble up and receive the gifts that are within.
We've had these magnificent moons in the past several months. And when I see those in front of me, I'm mesmerized by it. Because I just want to go there. I just want to go there. And I was sitting at the end of the driveway at this last one that was just magnificent. And I just thought, wow, I wish that I just had a vehicle that I could just go there. If I just had wings, I would just go there, because there is a wonderment about that, of new for me, and I always like learning and new things. And it's just amazing to have those type of reminders for us to look at, to really, really get deep into ourselves, and not just do the surface of life, but to get deeper with it.
That card also reminded me of a friend of mine who's going through some really intense shifts, who her whole life since getting married has been strictly taking care of the kids, and one of them's a real challenge, has the autism spectrum, and very much on the outer edge of the autism spectrum, where they don't speak and all that kind of stuff. There's been a lot of difficulty in the upbringing of her, and so my friend has really, her whole life's been devoted to this on a level, and in this energy right now, I think it speaks perfectly to this card too. She has all of a sudden, it was this like a switch flipped, is releasing and is having to release the control of what this child's life is like to the universe. She can be there to take care of the daily needs and do, but her life, she feels like she hadn't even started it yet. Like if her whole life is just ahead of her, but she has children, and even her husband and all that, it's been a real challenge for her, because she's felt like she's been in a box. Of course, it's a box of her own creating.
That's right, it's her own creation.
But when you get to that point with these energies, the way they are, of opening and helping us to be free, and to see the wonder and the opportunities and the joy in all of life, it reminded me, that card, of her life right now and what she's going through, because I know there's a lot of people going through this that are in relationships or circumstances that they felt trapped, and this energy is trying to unlock all of the traps. It's just unlocking them. Now we do have to let the doors go open, but it's just fascinating, because there's so much to life. And even if you have children, or even if you have a lot of this stuff, still allowing yourself to explore the wonderment of your own inner home, your own inside, and what you have in there to give in ways that you may not have thought about before. And I've been seeing it so much with so many different people, but that's the story that my friend's going through. It just totally reminded me with that card.
That card hit home to me. I realized when I was reading that a while ago, in years past, even the years before I got onto my spiritual path, I would look and be mesmerized with the moon. Just the moon.
That's me.
And whenever I would see a moon at night, I would stop and stare at it and feel a familiarity, almost a homesick. Now, I realize I'm not looking at the moon anymore. I'm looking beyond the moon at the stars. I look at the moon, I admire it, but then I turn and I look at the stars. And the feeling of homesickness and familiarity and draw is much, 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 much more strong. Much stronger when I look at the stars than at the moon.
And you know what just that brought to me? What an amazing gift was given to us by the universe with these intense energies, was the gift of the shooting stars we had recently.
Right.
As like a divine alignment and reminder that we all can follow the shooting stars. And oh my gosh, I'm talking about that, I'm getting rained on.
Right.
I seriously had water just splash. So must have hit on, just touch something there. What an amazing gift the universe can give in the symbology of that right now with this card and what we're talking about today and the energies.
The shooting stars, the other night when we had those shooting stars, I was involved in something. I think it was a Thursday night. As a matter
Right,
of
it
fact.
was.
And I got home without seeing a shooting star. And I said, I missed them, but I bet it was a good show. I got out of the car, looked at the stars, and saw a single shooting star.
Oh, wow, that is cool.
And
That was just for you.
Yeah, I think it was. That's the feeling I got anyway.
That's right. It was for you.
And I just stood there, and people think I'm weird if they were to see me, but I'd be standing right out in my driveway at midnight just looking up the stars.
Oh, I was out there at the end of this driveway. You know, by living on a golf course, there's nothing back there, and so it was just magnificent. But it wouldn't have made any difference to me if there was 1 million people out there playing golf.
Yeah.
I'd have still been looking
Doesn't
at
bother
it.
me.
It doesn't. It's like it's not even there. You just get so mesmerized by it that it's between you and it. There's not another thought in my head when I was looking at that, except I was just wandering and dreaming and just knowing how beautiful that it was.
And I know the reason that I'm mesmerized with the stars and feel that homesickness is because that's where we were seeded from. Earth was seeded. And that's where we were originally, the original race or species was from. And so I'm feeling it. I can look at one part of the sky and that feeling of homesickness will wane.
Well, in meditation, I think we're all star people.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
All three of us sitting at this table is a star person. And that's why we're so drawn toward that.
And for those of you who don't know maybe what a star person is, it's someone who's maybe in other lives or from an original sense of incarnations have lived in another solar system, on another planet, and experienced life in the stars and throughout the galaxies.
And I can speak personally for me. I still have a real light manner about me.
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt that since I can remember as a child. I've always had that real lightness about me, which I think is knowing that I can't wait till tomorrow to see what tomorrow brings. I mean, I always have that childlike thinking about me. And it's been difficult at times whenever I see someone that is so down. All I want to do is go over there, and I want to speak with them and just have words of wisdom to them to say, hey, you know, ever how you're feeling right now, you know, you try to come out of this energy and go into something that just is just mesmerizing to your life. And I think that's why the three of us sitting here as healers, we're also life coaching people. And that definitely comes from star people energy. And when we see somebody else out there, then we want them to be, you know, in the light of just happiness. It's very difficult for me to see people that is down because I don't understand that a lot of times. Because can always find something to be blessed about and to go to a happy place in my head.
That's an interesting topic to talk about because you have that perspective of it. When I came in, I was like totally afraid of this whole being
Right.
here. Like, what is this?
Right.
I just felt like I was totally from another planet, and the energy was so. I can describe it now as it just felt so low, and there was so much discord and disharmony that, like, what am I doing here? And it took me a lot of years.
That's interesting. I think it's
to
interesting.
get to the place of
Fascinating.
dating. There's probably some of y'all out there that either have one version of it or another. Who were you gonna say something, Michael?
You know, one of the easiest, and Lee and I especially, and Michael too, have been involved in this and practiced this. One of the easiest ways to turn on joy and happiness in someone is messing with the waitresses and waiters.
It's true. We
restaurant.
did that last night.
They're dealing with so much negativity a lot of times that they come to your table and with a forced smile. It's like it was cemented on. And if you just talk to them and make them think that they're important enough for you to talk to and mess with, they feel that. And before long, if they're really in a good place, after you mess with them, they'll turn around and start giving it back to you. It's really awesome.
We had last night. We went to this party that was just wonderful, and we actually stopped at one of the restaurants. And the first person that came, she had 4 stars on her apron, so I'm sure that people will know probably what restaurant that she worked for. But it was just amazing. When she came up, she had this little yellow flower in her hair, and she was very airy, you know, very upbeat type person. And, of course, Mr. Braswell over here always turns his charm on. It's amazing to me just to sit there and just think, wow, you know, he don't impress me too much anymore with that. But anyway, he does other people. And It's amazing to see how that works. But anyway, he really got a hold of her, and he said something about her past lives. And he said, I think you... she just came up to say, hey, what do you want to drink? She was filling in because our waitress was doing something else.
Yep.
So she was just a
wow.
fill-in, okay? So she was supposed to come to that table. She was just supposed to be there. And when she comes in, he just point blank just said to her, he says, you know what? I think you've probably had about 800 and you said whatever amount it was, 800 something lives.
14.
Yeah. Oh, 14. She looked at us like, holy moly, what in the world is this group
What
of
am I
people?
getting into here today?
What is this? And then she just started grinning about it, and he just kept on and on. It's amazing how you can lighten people up
Yeah,
like that.
it is.
When we left the restaurant, I mean, she was like bringing other people around just to be around the table because it was just total light in there. And this place was packed full of people, okay? Then our real waitress comes, and on her little apron, it had on there Rising Star.
I thought that was awesome. Because she was.
And then he goes into what does a rising star mean to you? I mean, then he goes into all of this, and she's looking like, wow, what nut is this here at the table, And she tried to explain it, but I don't know whether she really got it or not, but that first one got it. Mm-hmm. And then they was just bringing people over there with water and picking up this and the other because we was talking about all the past lives, and they just got all into it. It's just amazing how you can switch things with people.
We wound up having 5 waitresses.
We did.
Wow.
And we were there no more, 45 minutes,
Yeah.
I guess? About 45
well,
minutes.
you got the second plate, so that added 10 more minutes. But
Right.
What a great way to lighten up the conversation, considering I opened up the paper. I think we get it on the weekends, and the other day, and it said, had a big thing on 2012 and how there's all these people waiting for the earth to end and all this stuff, waiting on the fence and all that stuff. It was just so fascinating.
we're going to get something in a few minutes, something more about the end of time. Let me tell you about my card. This card, by the way, is a message for everyone whose ears these words fall upon. Stop obsessing about whether you're a good enough mother, father, or any other family member. If your motive is pure, God knows your heart. So the people that think they're not good enough father, mother, probably are doing a bang-up job, because that means in your heart you really care about whether you are or not. It's the people that don't think about it that may not care as much. But the ones that have love in their heart and their intent is pure, they're the ones that I think are most shined on by God, most looked at.
That's a neat card.
That is
It
a neat
is.
card.
It really is. And I remember I've been in situations where I did that wondering. Mm-hmm. I could have done such a better job. I could have done better here. I wished I hadn't done that. Well, if I hadn't have done that exactly like I did, that child wouldn't be the adult they are.
Right.
And I wouldn't be the adult I am.
Right.
If you change one thing in your life, folks, this is something you really need to think about. If you change one thing in your life, you may not be what you are today. You may not even be here today. That made you what you are. It's exactly what should have been to get you exactly where you are. If anything, think about opening up more and appreciating what's happened in your past, because every stumble, every fall has a lesson in it for you, and it strengthens you. Those lessons do. Don't ignore them. Every time something happens in your life that's you slam up against a wall, you fall, you cry, anything, think about, why did this happen? Did it make me stronger in any area? Did it make me wiser? Did it make me realize a way I shouldn't do things? There's a lesson behind that trauma. So look behind the trauma. You're a wonderful person where you are. You're a perfect person for where you are. You're exactly where you should be. So quit trying to be elsewhere, because that's not where God wanted you, or you wouldn't be there.
That was well said.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. And as you were talking and I'm looking at this card, I think it's also another amazing part of it is it's a nest with 2 eggs in it. And just the thought of obsessing about anything, like watching the eggs hatch, or, you know, just staring at the eggs in your life, whatever they are, whether it's a project or, you know, you want somebody in your life so bad that that's all you think about, that it literally holds it out from happening. And then you forget, as I believe you were saying too, you forget all of the wonderful things that are happening. And then from there, you could be obsessing that you're not good enough. Just yourself isn't good enough with anything. So that's a wonderful card.
I love that
Right
card.
now, at the end of the year, moving into the new energies of 2013, to just let go of all that obsession of anything but the obsession for just love and peace and, you know, the wonder of life.
And the card that I pulled, just to carry on with what you was just talking about, was from the Archangel deck. I went to that one myself, and it says Gifts from God. And it says, Archangel Sandalphon, we angels bring you gifts from your Creator and open your arms to receive. And that goes right along with what you're talking about. You can just open your arms to receive all that the Creator gives to you and just absolutely adore every second of it. Every second of it. And then there was 2 of them, so they both came together, and it said, bring it ideal. Archangel Uriel, it says, yes, your ideal is divinely guided, and please take action to bring your ideal to fruition. Well, that's so too, because there's a retreat that's going to happen in this area in Tennessee, and it's going to be acquired and up and going next year. And I'm looking very forward to doing that with all the people that will be there. It has been an idea that I've had all my life to do this, and it takes a team to get all of it done. And I think that when God created this idea to come in my head, that it actually brought in the people, that we could all work together as a team, and to be able to not get in any ego, and we're all the same, and to just go for it, and to help what we're talking about on a weekly basis on this show, to be able to step up to the plate and have a place for people to come that can acquire what we talk about. Because I don't want to be a part of anything that we talk about within ourselves and not be able to produce something to where you can actually come onto a property and be able to love it and to absolutely adore it and to come within your own self. And I've got chills going all over my body, so what I'm saying is totally correct, and that is my gift from the Creator. And Michael, I see you going out, so I know you have something to say.
I just got that on the 23rd and the 27th, those 2 dates, that something unusual will happen as far as worldwide. Not only will the energies on those 2 days intensify and be stronger, but there will be a couple of events that will affect the world because of those energies hitting people who aren't ready for them. I didn't get what it was, whether it be terrorism or what, but I just got, be alert, be aware of those 2 days. Don't be in fear of them. Just be of interest of them, and learn from what happens. And you'll see what will happen when energies hit people that aren't ready for them, that did not have the blessing or the good fortune to be around someone that could help them. Because your hands are so versatile, the human hand, and the most wonderful thing that you can do with those human hands is take the hand of another person and help them. So I urge anyone that sees anyone having a difficult time now, know it's because they don't know how to take the spiritual energies that's hitting Earth. They don't have a brain seizure. Nothing like that is happening to them on a physical or mental it's a energetic result of these energies hit them. So try to explain it to them. Try to explain it to them, and don't just cast them out of your life. May not be that you can open them up to them, but your spiritual duty is to try.
That's right. And I think that all the light workers is out there at times chooses sometimes not to go there with people because they have this this mindset. Well, what will they say if I just approach them? Well, you know what? I'd rather approach somebody and at least be able to speak the wisdom that God has given me than to know that I did not speak that wisdom that God gave to me. And it is a releasement to them and love to them, and it brings back the love totally into my heart for me. And to add on to that, you've got so many people now that I've encountered that absolutely with the energies that's so messing them up, they think all they have to do is go to doctors and get pills. Because they truly think that they're just totally just have lost their mind or there's something seriously wrong with them and they don't understand what it is. Totally energetic. So I would go, the way to do this is go within yourself, talk to someone, go into meditation, go into whatever that you need to do to quiet your mind and totally go into the creation of who you are and the creator that created you. And whenever you can get yourself to that soul level to do that, everything works beautifully, exactly the way that it should work, and it will be nothing but blessings.
That's amazing. And I have a presence that would like to speak now about, we'll see.
That'll be good.
I've been hearing a lot, so it's
well, I've been feeling this person that's been rubbing my face the whole time I've been sitting here. So I've just put myself on hold to see who it was.
Well, the name that's here with us, and I feel like he's going to speak consciously with me, so we'll see. It's a little different than I'm used to feeling with these energies, so
they're around the table.
With it.
Yes.
The name that's with us is Amephius, and his vibrational place is in the 9th dimension. We're moving in towards more of a 5th dimensional, so it's a much higher vibrational frequency than what we're living in here on Earth. And I'm told that he's from the Sirius galactic region. And he's here to remind us that all of life happens in cycles, and that we are moving into the golden heart. There's been a lot of energies of golden light coming into our hearts at this time, awakening, just as we've been talking about today, awakening these crystalline golden energies of love, total love for all beings, total compassion for all beings, including self. And these cycles happen over many, many years on the Earth, and in all galaxies have their own cycles, which are tied into all sorts of galactic and astrological alignments. And so you may be seeing today, as you are moving into the golden age, but in another 20 or 30,000 years, you may, at planet Earth, be moving back into a dark age. So things all happen in cycles, and so enjoy wherever you are, at whatever point in your beings and your evolution. There are times for the golden ages. There are times for the polar opposite of the golden ages, the dark ages. There are times for the Earth to cleanse and detoxify itself, as do other planets in other solar systems. And now is a glorious time to be a witness to the bright lights which are moving through your bodies and illuminating, as we would say, consciousness. It's the consciousness that's coming in and waking you up, and all you have to do is be open to it. And life is never ending. It goes on forever, and cycles and changes happen on so many different dimensions and levels than you as humans could even possibly fathom. And so as you all are coming up on the December 21st date, of which there is much fear on the earth right now around the earth ending, we assure you that there will be no ending, as those of you who are in fear may be projecting. It will not happen that way. That is not how the cycles of life work. It is and will be just another day. However, there is like as we are searching for a word in your language, an ending of the old and an opening of the new, kind of like an energy portal, a gateway, so to speak, that is just opens up. And so many wonderful things and new awarenesses are coming to you all right now. So we urge you to just rest into the wonder and the joy of what is opening up for you right now. And we thank you for listening to us today. And we are helping from the galactic region of Sirius to assist Earth and all of the solar system to evolve to the level that you are right now. And it is perfect, and it is beautiful, and it is so blessed, and you have so much help in realizing your full potentials. And we tune out with this. And thank you. You know, that's interesting, because I've been thinking a lot about the cycles lately. So I think those beings have been with me a lot. And that was a very different experience for me, just kind of feeling like I'm just talking just as normal, but I know that there's another energy that's coming into me at the same time.
I totally get that's the way that it will be henceforth. Because being on the plane that we're going to at a totally different place, that will be more of that type of conversation, as far as very much understandable, and very much of being able to touch all lives and be able to understand exactly what's being said at that time. And I think that was a total example of that.
And
what a blessing.
It's interesting, just as we're talking here, you just never know how the evolution of life, we just go with it in the moment. It's so amazing.
Yes.
We're looking at Michael Braswell over there.
Michael is ready to
looks like
speak.
he has something to say over there.
I went totally out a while ago, but I came around when Michael finished, and it's up to Michael Braswell now.
I come from that place beyond that wall that you encountered through your journey the other night. We weren't always in that place that you could not comprehend. We were, in fact, before similar to you. But hopefully you won't go through what we did. For I stood and watched the destruction of my planet. And I was one of the few that traveled beyond that in safety, looking back at just a burnt ball. We evolved over years to the point where we were at a place totally different. I can't describe it to you. There's nothing in the human psyche, the human brain, that can comprehend what's there, what we are. But as the other one just spoke, or was a vessel for speaking, you will be visited more and more by those beyond your comprehension. For our goal is to help you not stand and look at a burning ball, not know that most of your race is in that fire, as ours was. I was searching, I know you like names, I was searching for a name, and our name that's in your language just call me love. But that's why we're here, out of love. That's why so many more will become beyond this wall to visit you. And that's why in the year 2013, again, this one had spoken of it before, you will meet, finally, in the open, someone not from your planet. And you will do it in a way it cannot be ignored. And that will be the opening of the door on your path to be where we are. So get ready for that. And when it happens in 2013, accept it for the gift it will be. And we will work with you as others will on saving your planet.
And so it is.
So it is. You know, that's an interesting what just came through right there, because it's a reminder of how important it is with the evolution in consciousness to do things. It's all part of the consciousness shift, is elevating even the way that we operate on the planet and the way that we treat the planet, and how important that is to its loving evolution for us right now. You know, even the basics from recycling to, you know, gardening, if you feel inspired to garden and grow some of your own food, and whatever lowers the amount of trash and things out there that just throw junk in the oceans, like all of that trash that's showing up in Hawaii, that's been showing up in Hawaii for years from Japan dumping their garbage out in the ocean. It's just fascinating, all the little things that we can do to help treat the Mother Earth better, because it's really all the same. We're all connected through the energy fields of the Earth and beyond. They're all one. So above, so is below. You know, it's all connected. It's a really beautiful, beautiful thing. Lee, are you feeling you're gonna?
I'm just swirling of the energy of it.
That was strong too, because my whole stomach was wild.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. Well,
it's totally in my head and heart to be able to say to all, pay attention to yourselves and be kind to all.
Amen.
And so it is.
So it is.
Aho.
And with that, I'd say we call our show a night. Thank you all for listening today. And we will, as far as we know, be putting out another show next week, right before Christmas holiday time. So you all have a blessed week in these energies that are just blossoming us open like flowers.
Enjoy your life every second of every day.
And if we don't connect to you before, have a wonderful, Merry Christmas.
Love it. And love you all.